stress, live with every breath. See my message start to spread, and I had so many dreams. Then you hit your teens, life ain't really what it seems. Try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooter's gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I fall. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once.
With that Phantom.
That he is, pushing forward. I mean, he just ran straight out of B lobby, looked across into mid, and caught RB on the catwalk. Takes him down, a little bit of spam through. Looks like a minor bit of connection coming in as Mako trying to look his way out of his own smoke, ends up falling. Stacks will be able to find one, but the cleanup comes through. Zest taken down by the turret, and it's going to be a fairly swift and easy 2-0 start here for the side of ZETA.
Yeah, good fallback plans, and again, a pretty decent read here from ZETA. The defense is in the place, in tree in short A, 4-10. He's able to kind of back up, work with his teammates to really lock that down. I think Tommy Turret even snuck in a kill there, so good for him. But yeah, man, I mean, he is, again, a really good Killjoy player. So I'm really excited to watch him kind of get to work here on this map. But the standard result there, only one kill coming through for the side of DRX. As now, finally, we get to see the full firepower here. I think 1 Vandal in there, 4 Phantoms. So kind of the standard DRX stuff you usually see, right? These days they're running usually 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 Phantoms and a couple Vandals. And this is all now preference. This is player preference now.
I mean, Foxy, going on the jet with the Vandal, definitely not what you're used to seeing. Dart going to go out looking to just clear some of that utility, but we can see that the alarm bot's actually set over by Tree through short on A, rather than here in mid. Just a double stack here, 10 facing away. As the flash comes through. All right.
I was like, did we get dizzied?
Okay, they're looking for the counter flash. Will end up being a 1-for-1. And able to answer. We were just underwater for a moment.
That's all right. I mean, come on, man. This is the VCT Pacific, right? We're making waves.
We should. Oh, God. I didn't miss this. I missed the casting aspect, but not the dad jokes.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. All right, well, I've got plenty in the bank, I swear.
Maybe those 8 months weren't that long.
Yeah, maybe we could have gone for a year. Ooh, that's a really good nano.
Yeah. Really good nade thrown down just to stop that counter swing. They want to be able to push out.
30 seconds
Zep
left.
just backing away, doesn't want to really challenge. Now moved into the site, they can go for this plant. 4v4, stacks down to 75. Laz at 66. Push out stacks, trying to get aggressive. It's a funny one, Dep now into the site, takes out Zest. Suddenly things are starting to fall apart. RB's on the wraparound, trying to approach from heaven, catch them off guard, but they're in onto the spike. Do manage to get the execution there before it hits half. The spray not connecting though. He's still sticking to this. They need to clear him off and they just don't have the lineup ready. Mako can't get it done. Now they're gonna look to push and take this weapon out of his hands. Tucks away for a little bit longer and he barely manages to survive, but this is still fairly catastrophic. A 3-0 start here as ZETA convert.
It's a brutal round for DRX, but another really well played, really well thought out round here for ZETA Division, and I think you're seeing some really interesting things come out. As we have heard today that Laz is now IGLing, that Laz is dialing up. So we saw in the pistol round, they're conditioning DRX to think that they're going to give him enough time to plant, to get set up, and then try to break him. This time around, it's while the spike is going down that they pull the trigger and they bust everything up. DRX isn't ready for it. ZETA is able to have a nice coordinated close, but Mako.
Okay, well, Mako clearly angry that he wasn't able to stop that defuse in the previous round, so does put that rifle that he had carried forward into good use. Now we'll pass it over to the side of Zest as you get this plant coming through. So the nano swarm already set up here, right at the base of heaven. With the open hand, Dep starting to pull back away, wants to see if somebody's going to be approaching from mid, but Foxy9 is going to get melted out of hell. Mako as well taken down, trying to go for the flank, and suddenly they're in with a shout. 10's got the lockdown available. He goes ahead and sends this out, and there's no way to clear this from the side of the DRX. They do not have a Hunter's Fury. The spam coming in, looking to take him down somehow. Stacks doesn't take any damage, and in fact will be able to find 10. A hell of a lot though, and he manages to get Dep right before the dash completes. Couldn't get the shorty shot out. Laz now, chunk from the nano swarm. Has to wait for it, sees the operator, wants to pick this up, and now gonna have to just go ahead and make his exit. Will be able to find an additional kill, and he will get away with his life. So operator gonna be recovered, but DRX get themselves on the board.
Yeah, this is a great counterpunch here from DRX. I was talking about how ZETA's been kind of having good changes of pace, good changes of strategy, and now it's DRX's turn, right? They come in with a very different round. This time it's just a fast hit. Their economy is pretty bad compared to their opponents, and they're still able to find this round win. And it's off the back of Mako, who is able to keep that gun over from the previous round, puts it to great use right out the rip here, finding 2 big kills. And Mako's good again, the desk again, highlighting this player as we rightly should. Phenomenal player, the best controller in the world. I'm just going to say it, and I am
right there with you.
Right, yep, and he shows you why right there. He can do it all.
Well, Laz getting away. It's the operator. And it's actually going to be holding it himself. Dep opting to go for the blades instead.
He's pretty good with the op.
Sure. And Pro pretty good with the Vandal. Just goes ahead, clips Foxy9 in the head, just through the corner there. The rest of the team now looking forward. They do have the alarm bot in mid this time, and they're talking about it. Laz finds the shot. Now Mako dead, and assaulting these sites without your smokes becomes so much more difficult than it really needed to be.
And so much information and space gained on A here for the side of ZETA that they're able to kind of understand this and play. You know, set Laz up in a great position with this. Op 10 just finds 2.
And he does. And RB can't do anything. 10 with the third to go ahead and finish that out. ZETA re-stretched the lead now to 3 rounds. 4 locked in, and that was a buy from the side of DRX. The only player with money, really, it's going to be Zest because he was able to carry over that rifle. So could go for, obviously a buy for, a teammate as well as himself, but this is going to end up being an eco.
Yeah, I mean, this is really exciting stuff for ZETA. They're playing this really, really well. This aggressive push out of A gets them a ton of info. Wow, what a spray down from 10. Absolutely nasty. This is the 10 we want to see. Fired up and accurate.
Start now swim off the rip. Foxy gets in ahead of it. Start to clear that forward util, but here the turret's still here. Dash up over the top. Foxy not connecting with his shots. Laz strikes him down. He only got a single knife across. RB will find Laz. Just pushing forward, breaks in, does find 10. They still have to deal with depth. He eats a good amount of damage there. Try to swing in, but no, Mako manages to get the push in the corner. Takes him down, but now it's Mako and Zest trying to get this defense. Now it is just Mako left to his own devices in a 1v1, but Crow tagged down 10 HP. Surely there you have it. A Thrifty will come across. Mako again finding 3 here for the squad, keeping DRX in these rounds.
Well, when you need someone to step up big for DRX, a lot of times it's Mako, and he's doing it. Foxy, I think maybe a little bit of jitters there on that entry, just a little bit off with that Blade Storm, but
yeah.
he creates the space, and then this kind of gets Depp stuck in a bad position where he's right on the stairs, and Mako just swings the corner, and he's got the op in his hands, right? They transfer the op over to Depp. Depp's playing close quarters there with Mako. Mako able to take him down, then finding 2 on the backside. Really nice through the box there.
It is concerning, though, that so far DRX have to very heavily rely on Mako to find either these opening kills or get that clutch at the end. Obviously, we know how good he is in those clutch moments, but you want to be seeing more from the rest of the team. And so far, that has been lacking. Foxy, I mean, while we have seen him perform with this team on a stage before, it has not been in a VCT event, not until this moment. Didn't get to see him at lock-in. We now see him on this stage, and clearly it seems like the jitters are still there. It's still something that he's got to get used to and work through.
Yeah, the stakes are the highest that we've ever seen Foxy face. Now, he has played in front of huge crowds. The one in Yokohama was, I think, somewhere around 10,000 people. So this is a, unfamiliar territory in terms of just the scope of what he's having to deal with here. So, yeah, so far it hasn't been what we want to see from Foxy, but I think, he's a very young player. Obviously, if DRX has confidence in him, I do too. Depp here going to get caught. Just misses the shot, and they're chasing him down.
Yep, Foxy will be able to pursue deep enough to get that kill. That blind across. Good. Hunter's Fury going to be opened up. That's actually coming from Laz across the way, and it is. And he's going to find 2 kills? The man was sniping from Market. Picks him up, but the spike all the same will go down. 3 members alive with the side of DRX. Stacks down to 31 HP. Both players approaching from heaven. See if they can break through. The drone leading the way, but as that null command comes across, the 0 point, I should say, cancels out the drone before it can see much of anything. Just spray checking, trying to see if they can find anybody in hell. Wisely, the DRX players are playing away from that position. Oh, Zest getting pinged, and he's just going to get melted down. Laz finding the wall bang. 31 HP here for the side of Stacks. Another smoke comes down. He walks into the spray, and Laz now with a 4K, looking for the ace to try to close this one out.
No way.
Breaks the door, but yeah, he just doesn't have time. He's just going to have to back away. They will go on their separate paths here. As again, DRX finally able to string a second round together consecutively. But still, it's not clean.
No, not at all. That is absolutely messy. And I mean, yeah, Laz is doing the heavy lifting there. 11-1 and 4 for Laz right now.
Yeah, he just has barely died. I'd love to see his POV, and here it is. He's just sending in blood. Yep.
Look at these lineups.
Okay. Okay, Laz. You're nasty.
This is, by the way, this is like the 12th or 13th time ever he's played Sova on stage for Laz. I mean, he's absolutely just all over the place right now, and now you can see that even with the Sova utility, which is probably kind of the biggest question you would have, we know Laz, unbelievable rifler, unbelievable opper, unbelievable with like sheriffs. But, was the Sova utility going to be crisp, clean? It is.
Absolutely. More of that, please.
Yes.
Inject that straight into my eyeballs.
In your eyeballs?
Into my eyeball, because I'm watching it.
Oh, all right. That's. Oh.
Okay. Boxing. Oh, he gets a second one as well. Yep, there are 2 quick kills for the side of Foxy 9. Maybe starting to get geared up just a little bit more. As Laz just doing that Sova thing, spraying across. Foxy tries to threaten him back and go for the reload. Pulls away, but that is going to be complete and utter control of the B site here for the side of DRX. You can see Mako lurking all the way back top mid. Trying
like
to see if
that.
someone's going to go for that push through Gelato. And now we'll start creeping back down over towards Market and Pizza.
I like the adaptation here from DRX to put Mako in kind of an unusual spot compared to where he normally is. But dueling with a frenzy there, definitely in Mako's favor.
It is, but after the instant dink, decides to pull back, puts even more distance in to make that frenzy a bit less of a threat. Finds a single kill.
Cover going out.
Sugar Zero, not going to be too much that he could do. Lurking in the smoke for now. Okay, never mind. Jumps out. He will find RP for his troubles. Making use of the judge, so a decent little bit of value is found, but Foxy9 will pick up a third kill, and that spike will go off, so DRX are going to be able to tie this up at 4-4.
Yeah, this is a nice comeback here for DRX. This is the cleanest round. You're saying, you know, it's been really scrappy so far. Well, this one, much, much cleaner. Now, yeah, ZETA had a few off weapons in hand, so this one much more favored towards DRX, but still a good comeback here. Now we get to see Foxy9 come alive with a big double kill off the rip here. I really want to see this potentially from his perspective. I mean, dodging all over the place and then just drags it down to get two. Absolutely phenomenal spray control there with the Vandal.
Call coming in, you know he's in the smoke. Happens to get the lucky spray, but the opening kill's damn good here from the side of Foxy9. You can see him smiling now, feeling a bit more at ease. We'll see if that carries forward here into the future rounds.
Wouldn't have minded seeing a timeout here from ZETA. This would have been a good time to kind of reset, regroup.
Might end up being the case that it's going to be, you know, immediately after this one. If they can't break this win streak, that would be DRX finding themselves on a 4-round consecutive streak. So that then might be the time. Drone, not sure if it was able to scout Laz around the corner there. Depp still hovering forward. Drone's going to go out. Oh, he sees the barrel of the gun.
They're going to push this.
Oh, okay. Wrong, it's on the opposite side of the wall. Thought he had seen it. He just had the lineup set for it. Is Mako again going to be set here in mid? A little bit closer. He and RB now looking to clutch this out. I mean, these were two of the biggest clutch players for DRX over at lock-in. TP across. Looks like Mako will safely be able to get over towards B lobby, but the spike is still going to be stranded in mid.
Yeah, this is now really, really challenging. They're going to have to find at least 2 picks, if not wipe out all of ZETA to win this round at this point. ZETA firmly camped around this spike. Okay, of course the ult can grab it, and it's out. He's got it.
All right.
30 seconds left.
I didn't notice that he had that one available.
Yeah, I'm getting used to the new UI.
RB, you can see, with the lockdown at the ready, can't easily clear this out. If he places it behind the box,
Plus 10 is
to
his.
get that wall bang, so just waits as much as possible. Expecting that the team is going to be close. They're still playing forward into this one. They have their own lockdown now dropped in. Mako starts moving forward, pushes out of his smoke, and there's just no one covering it. The Tane goes across, does get the catch there on the 10, so for now, it's just Sugar Zero and Depp trying to go for the retake, and Mako will find the first. And you can see the call is coming in now. They know that they have this operator. They don't have the money. DRX are going to be able to take this round as Depp and 10 go running to the hills. Depp hovering around a little bit longer, but misses the timing. Takes the updraft over the wall, will manage to make it out to safety. He holds on to the operator for yet another round, but ZETA let another one slip away.
Man, that was so close there. ZETA plays this early round so well with the pinch in towards mid, towards Pizza, cutting everything off, waiting for the utility of DRX, countering with their own utility. Depth there with the perfect hold, the perfect timing. Just gets the spot of Stacks to get the first kill with the op in time, then backs right off. Everything looking like it's, you know, going ZETA's way, and then who else? 10 and 4, Mako comes through with his ult, grabs the spike, gets it down, gets up, clears the lockdown, which 10, I don't know what exactly happened with the comms there for ZETA, a bit of a breakdown, but they were able to, you know, DRX was able to push out and get that, and then that makes the round so much more difficult for ZETA, because that's a big key towards, you know, giving themselves the space and time to set up. You know, you want everybody in boat, then you know everybody's going to be in boats there, and you can try to push through, or if you're real lucky, you know, everybody's just detained.
Well, looks like we might have another tech pause here, waiting to get confirmation that that is the case rather than, okay, it's a timeout at the end, never mind. Okay, so we'll go ahead and fly that. So ZETA, this is the moment. We were talking about it. You know, they give that 4th consecutive round away to DRX. Now this is time for XQ to come in, pump the brakes, and try to calm things here in this lobby.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, find that confidence, find those good moments, but it's been good counter ideas from DRX and, of course, some heroics from Mako that have put them back ahead now. start. They came out really reading DRX pretty well, but now Stacks IGLing very strongly as we're used to, finding good adaptations. And that's kind of the thing that I'm looking for DRX this season in VCT Pacific is you think about Pearl, you know exactly what they're going to be doing, right? You know exactly how they're going to be set up. And we saw this with ZETA, the way that they countered it. You know, clear Mako out of B main, and then you can start working through the rest of the B site here on Ascent. So but that being said, right, we have seen those adaptations. We've seen Mako lurking in mid. We've seen him putting pressure in different parts of the map on those post plants on the B site. So everything that I'm seeing right now from both teams is really encouraging. And this is a great start to the year. You know, this is our inaugural match. What a way to kick off the VCT Pacific. You know, the tide's coming in here, and now we're making waves.
Oh, we're keeping up with this one. Huh?
I love it. I gotta go with it.
All right, well, we'll see if this timeout is going to work out here for the side of ZETA, because stopping DRX from getting more rounds on this attacking side is absolutely paramount for them to be able to take this map away.
Yeah.
Crushing them here on Ascent would be monumental for ZETA to be able to take this series. In history, we've seen it. DRX, when they shift over to the defending side, that has been where they feel the most dominant on this map of Ascent. 62% win rate coming into this set here now. Okay, dash out. Foxy gets himself over the switch, and 10 manages to win out on the battle, only going to be taken down to 70 HP. Good pickup, and that completely shuts down the side exec. Everybody, however, has rotated over towards B. Two hovering back over towards the defending side. They can cut back across, get some eyes on mid, if not all the way over into heaven, because DRX right now, they're full sending it over to the A side.
Yeah, and Depp just barely able to get here in time. Crow is stuck watching mid, so Depp kind of can't even get anything. Oh my god.
He not here. The window broke.
Yep.
Zest just pushed straight through. Depp didn't pay it a second, any amount of attention, really, and just gets struck down. He had to be the catalyst to turning this around, stopping them from getting that spike planted, but instead just tunneled in, staring over towards main. Doesn't realize that he's getting flanked. That could be catastrophic. Drone going to be canceled before he can enter the smoke. He's coming down. There's the drop down, and Crow trying to check left side. Isn't ready for Stacks to be hovering behind Jen. He's just Sugar 0 and 10 left standing now. Good swing timing. Catch him unawares, but there's still 3 more players to try to get through. Now 2 more players, actually. Assess will fall. Mako finds 1. Mako alive in this position. He just seemingly cannot lose them. The timeout, unfortunately, does not deliver a round win here for the side of ZETA. DRX will continue to streak as we go towards the end of this half. 2 more rounds to be played out.
Yeah, it's a bit of an overcommit here early from ZETA. They played for the fast hit. They played on Foxy 9's entry here. Now, phenomenal work once again by 10. Locking things down, getting that first kill, but yeah, I don't know exactly what happened there with Depp. He, like you said, seemingly didn't react to it. I think definitely a shock that they came through tree that quickly. Clearly they were not ready for it. Crow wasn't there to back Depp up, so Depp was more just kind of like, you know, play for a one and done position, but Zest just didn't even give him the chance. Now, this is an open A site here.
Look at this crunch.
Yep.
And it's going to pay off. They just get 4 players out in the B lobby, and Arby's taken down. Mako TP's forward. Depp now chasing. Gets himself up the top mid. The pings are coming in. Mako's just got a hightail. So, yes, the spike is planted over onto the A site, but they are completely and utterly surrounded. Mako, like he's just going to get tucked away in wine, but only 35 HP to work with to try to hold that position.
Yeah, again, like the change of pace here from ZETA. Let's see if they can convert on it. They get the pick. Now it's a 5-man versus 4 retake.
A monstrous Thrifty if they can get it done. I thought maybe 10 was going to do it again with a smoke entry, but instead Zest manages to hold it down, finds Crow for his troubles as well. Depp, he's just drifting, lands on top of Jen, manages to find Stacks, but Zest is still there, holding things down. A 3rd kill comes through. Sugar 0 now on as Lonesome. He knows that Mako's low, but he can't get the shots to connect. And now he's just got to run away. As the initial crunch from ZETA, it's absolutely brilliant. Zest will die to the spike, but Mako will find Sugar 0, so the weapon is not carried over crucially as DRX find themselves a 7th round win.
Yeah, and only 1 more round to go here. And the economy, it looks like they're going to be able to squeeze out, you know, a decent amount, but they have to, a form of a buy, but they're going to have to cut a little bit of armor and switch to a judge. with 4 other rifles here for the side of ZETA. So yeah, absolutely not being able to keep that extra rifle, really, really devastating here potentially for ZETA. But I like the idea from ZETA. I like getting out on the map. I like the crunch they set up. I like the way that they fanned out for the retake, trying to come from multiple different angles. But you know, the way Zest played that up on point inside of the smoke, just caught him off guard, gets 2 big kills, and then the whole thing just unravels. I don't know how Depp got that kill. I don't know if his, like, you know, his toe barely touched the top of Jen, like he's doing a little ballerina dance. Yeah, you know.
It's more about, I'm more impressed that he didn't die.
Yeah.
than the fact that he got the kill.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
But either way, he'll now find himself with a judge in hand. Obviously has the Blade Storm activated. Let's see if he can find some high impact frags.
But Stack still has his ult, so it gets a little bit weird. Yep.
Starting to push forward. You can see Sugar's here. I mean, he was just 100 away from being able to get that full armor. That kill on Mako, if he could catch him as he's trying to exit wine, suddenly, boom, you feel a bit better coming in with that full armor. Okay, there it is. Depp now just blinded out. Nice paranoia. Tommy with Foxy 9 dashes in, gets taken down, lands right on top of the nade. Shotgun blast, ends up falling. Crow looking to anchor the site. Finds himself a second kill, taking out Mako, but Zest swings around the backside of Jen. Gets the headshot. That's going to be the site opened up, but we're completely even now at 3v3. The push coming in. It's 2 of them, and oh boy, Zest finds yet another one. Yep. Drops down and somehow manages to draw down, get the blades out to find that kill. It looks flashy, but in the end, it's not round winning for them. 8-4, the score as we get ready to swap sides. DRX now shifting to the defense.
Yeah, so that's 7 rounds in a row there for DRX at the end. That's concerning. I mean, I was really, really excited about the way ZETA came out and started playing, but DRX starting to kind of get their footing underneath them. Zest here finding some really impactful late half rounds. He's gotten some really nice kills, gotten some good flanks, some good kind of, you know, front position holds where he's holding the front of the attack. So a lot of versatility we've seen from Zest, which is what we're used to seeing. A very strong player, has had great performances throughout the years. You know, you want to see him here.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of Zest's performances at lock-in when he was really popping off, it was on this map.
Yes.
And a lot of it was on the defending side, which he's now about to find himself on. His anchoring on that B side, obviously just sitting back in boats or getting tucked away on that defender spawn link. He has had some wonderful highlights from Sao Paulo. We'll see if he can deliver on that, though. As ZETA now need to have one hell of an attack. And again, the tip of that spear needs to be Depp.
Yes. I mean, he is... Depp is a really interesting player to me because sometimes it seems like he's not fully aware of everything. We saw it a little bit here, right, where the glass got broken, he didn't really react to it. It didn't seem like it was a possibility in his mind that he was able to kind of even turn in that direction. So sometimes he does get kind of tunneled. Now that's what makes him great. Sometimes he gets tunneled, he gets so focused that he's able to just do stuff that defies belief. And, you know, we saw a little bit of that with that kind of drafting Vandal shot, but yeah, he needs to be really on point. He needs to be kicking these doors down. He needs to be finding those first kills here for the side of ZETA. I mean, as good as Ten and Laz are playing, the rest of this team needs to pick it up. And, you know, we've been saying that for a little bit now, especially with, like, Crow. We need to see more from him as well. So for ZETA to get this done, it's definitely possible, but it's got to start here. Now, let's also say this. This is, as the desk was also talking about, not ZETA's best map.
Sure.
They have struggled on this map. DRX knows it. That's why they picked it.
I mean, unless we go to 3, these are the exact same maps that we saw from ZETA in their match versus left. It was the Ascent, it was the Pearl. So we'll get to see, you know, we're getting to see a slightly different flavors, some things that they have worked on a bit. 8-4, though, not going to be instilling the most confidence given that they come into this map, I believe, completely even 56 and 56 on their win rates, but they're going up against that 62% defending side win rate in DRX. So they need to have high impact. They need to be able to win yet another pistol round.
Yeah, and DRX is a team we've seen time and time again that can string together tons of rounds in a row on their defender side. So another very crucial pistol here. Like you mentioned earlier, pistol's a little bit of a struggle. I mean, 4 pistols total isn't a great sample size, but you want to see ZETA maybe come out here, sneak into their pistol away, and try to make a game of this.
Dart not going to connect. RB not revealed here in the back of sight as Mako eating that flash a little bit. He's looking for a moment. So it's not a right click at range, but it's going to be Stax who manages to find that first blood. RB now getting involved. Stax going to run out of bullets. Laz managing to take him down, but since an RB will go ahead and hold the rest of the site. RB, doesn't matter, I suppose, if he's playing Killjoy, if he's playing KO, as long as the ancient name starts with a K. He can anchor the A site with ease.
He's pretty good with the frenzy.
Yeah.
We've seen that a lot. I mean, DRX are just corralling him. I mean, they just get stuck in that corner. They can never displace Mako. The players on Heaven are playing super cagey. They're keeping themselves alive. They're playing for their lives, and they're just making it so difficult for ZETA to push forward, and that's going to scoop them up a round win, the first pistol win here for DRX. But, yeah, ZETA, that was not exactly a must-win, but pretty close.
Curious to see when this second timeout comes into the side of ZETA, because obviously there's not much room to work with, given that the scoreline is now 9.
Has to be
You're kind of anticipating that just given the weapon buys coming through, DRX should be able to just go ahead, pick up this anti-eco round, then you're going to find yourself at a 10-4. Do you do it right before the buy round? Do you decide to wait until after that moment? When is it going to be? Curious to see, but for now, we'll see if they're going to manage to, pull away a Miracle Thrifty.
Yeah,
poking and prodding at A, but instead we'll just go ahead and back away.
I wouldn't mind either way if they go right after this round or go the round after. Like one of those two, just assuming that things go badly, right? Like I can see a pretty decent argument for either. I mean, try to show them some confidence that, when you get those rifles in hands that you believe that they can get something done. But a spot came through there. 10 tries to play off of it, not going to fool Foxy.
Now, had been spotted. Good run from Zest, just identifying the Killjoy was in a forward position. Wasn't cleared fast enough. I mean, just given the weaponry here from the side of ZETA. Couldn't break that down. They do, however, get themselves forward into mid, but you can tell that DRX are perfectly cognizant of this. They've gone ahead and they shut the market door. They want to limit their options. Stax now holding things down to the spawn will be good for 2. That finds the elimination. Paranoia across, and Mako just swings out, finds 1, jumps over the top, and needs to stabilize his aim a little bit, and we'll go ahead and get him in the end. So a singular kill found here for the side of ZETA, but DRX will go ahead and pick up that anti-eco win. Now we go into the bonus to see if ZETA can start a miracle run back to get themselves in this game.
Yeah, Mako's such a monster. I mean, he's so smart. He's so fast. Great little play here from Foxy, kind of anticipating that quick peek from 10. Stax gets cut down, and you kind of assume that ZETA's going to push for that gun. They're going to push for that Spectre, and Mako's right there with the Paranoia right away.
Yeah, I mean, he still finds 2, and that's totally fine for Stax to be the one to die, but they clearly knew that they were going to be pushing up through market, and then once you shut that door with them having pistols, they either
know where they're going.
Yeah, you know exactly where they're going. I'm surprised that he didn't try to invest a flash before he goes for that swing and could potentially gun down 3 if not 4 of those players. But he was feeling confident, took the the fight challenge, and did manage to come away with 2 in the end.
Yeah, and ZETA, to their credit, working together, playing together that round, trying to come up with a few cheeky things here and there, just couldn't quite get it through. So now, I mean, if they drop this one, there has to be a timeout. There just has to come a timeout after this. Laz already dinged up quite a bit here in his duel with Mako over at A. So now that kind of big-time fragger you have as ZETA already lit up a little bit. Stax here buying for time. Thinking about the fragment, going to invest it. Keeping them pinned there as well as getting the confirmation with the knife.
Just looking to slow them down as much as possible. Flash goes out. Stax goes pushing forward. Depp does find Mako. So Stax aware that they are in the site. He's going to go ahead, pick up a weapon. Foxy 9 in the meantime does find Laz, and Stax gets Depp before the door shuts. And he will be the finisher on the round. Again, 1 player lost. Stax, the IGL, finding 4. And unfortunately for ZETA, that's the number of round wins that they still have. DRX continue to collect these for themselves. They continue to go on a monstrous streak, now finding 10 consecutive across both halves.
Another phenomenal Paranoia here from Mako that sets this up for Stax. A great push out, great timing. Stax here buying time, gets the info. He knows they're coming. He's going to wait for it. He gets everybody in place as the IGL to set him up for success and executes perfectly. Now, let's see if we are going to get the timeout. No, ZETA's just going to run it down here.
They are. Mako, hearing the footsteps, knows that this is going to be a fast play. Up through Cat. Smoke down, Depp looking to push up into window. Glass is already broken, so there's not going to be any sound across for this one, but the Paranoia does strike, and he's got to back off, actually uses that Cloudburst as well. Just try to, protect he and 10 in that moment. Pro going to find 1, but RB finds 2. Depp taken up by the turret. Suddenly, it is just 10 left standing. Spectre in hand, no spike found. And Zest will be able to report his position. The spike is just being squatted on right now by RB.
Yeah, the comm's just great here for DRX. The way they react to everything, so good. You know, they know the space that they've given up, and they know how to react to it. Once again, it's Mako there, you know, buying some time, and then Stax comes through with the fragment to back him out of that window. Don't even give ZETA the opportunity to put those stingers and other short-range weapons to use up in those close quarters angles up in heaven. Force them back out to the other side. Foxy going to clean things up for the final kill here on 10. 12-4 ZETA, Achilleos. And as great as this started out for ZETA, it has been literally all DRX since. And I am, you know, I'm a little concerned for ZETA.
Yeah, I mean, granted, this is, you know, obviously the map pick here of DRX. We know how strong they've been on Ascent. Granted, it did look a little bit wishy-washy for them dropping the map to BBL over in lock-in. So it hasn't been as strong of a map for them, but clearly with a couple adjustments to the composition that they're running, they still felt an immense amount of confidence. And this is also just kind of one of those maps where you could unleash Foxy9 and say, okay, go do jet things. While he might not be top bragging here for the team, we have seen a decent amount of impact from him.
Yeah, it's not their best map, but it's definitely a strong map for DRX. I'd rate Fracture as probably their best map, but I think, you know, still a formidable opponent to anybody, as we have seen time and time again against FPX last year with all those phenomenal games on this map, that they have a ton of confidence. Ooh, I think he got the tag.
He did. Chunked up down, 54 HP remaining. He's going to try to get this push across, and it's actually going to be Crow from across the way over in B lobby who's got that covering fire. Good headshot on the stack, so yeah, really nicely done. At least evens it up and avoids further catastrophe. So ZETA still very much in this round, but you can tell they're still, you know, taking stock in the state of the map right now and figuring out where they want to go. Seems like it is going to be a slow creep over towards the A site. They smoke off Foxy9. He's going to break the window. We'll be able to hear that. The drone starts leading the way. Mako set back. Sends out the paranoia. That should tell Sugar Zero exactly where he's positioned. Now he knows. He's got visual confirmation.
Tonight finding some good value. Let's see. They get this spike down. DRX still holding firm.
He's trying to fake it, but well, okay. Now he reveals it. Still. Cross takes Sugar Zero down to 47. Spike does get planted.
This is tough, man. They both know they're there. No one wants to make the first move. Foxy just looking for that pick, looking for somebody to stick their head out.
Game of chicken. It's okay. Foxy taking a bit of damage. They spray up into heaven. Dep, I think, is slightly off angle. Now they spot him. Mako ends up falling. Sugar Zero, front of the kill. There's the drop down. Foxy9 finds one. Knows that there's another in hell. The ping's coming across. He whips on the right click. Laz, however, still, gets tagged up just a bit. Down to 45 HP. After the spike, the drop down from heaven, and suddenly it's just Zest, and he will end up falling. Had the op in hand, and ZETA, they managed to go ahead and get themselves alive at least for a little bit longer. A 5th round victory found, but they need 7 more in a row if they want to take this to OT.
Yeah, ZETA just able to squeeze through the defenses of DRX here. Now, DRX had kind of a 1-1-1-1-1 across the map. One at kind of B main, A main, and then one at the shorts. One in mid and one towards short A. I mean, Foxy there, that is fast and clean. Really nice shot with the op. But Sugar Zero here kind of doing his best Mako impression from A main, getting some big kills. Laz always good for it underneath. He's very clean, as we've seen time and time again. Let's see if they can string together a few more here. Maybe give us a show, give us a bit of a map. Big ults across the board.
Oh, and he got just pushes the corner. Everyone's staring at the mid arches. No one has eyes on Foxy. 2 quick kills to just snatch the wind right out of the sails of ZETA.
That's the confidence you want to see out of this player, out of this rookie. That is exactly what you're looking for out of DRX.
Dep, while he had just a stinger in hand, he also had those blades, and now they are completely and utterly worthless. Plays it dead on the floor. Nice little snipe. Laz again looking to recreate some of that magic we saw earlier, but this time 300's Fury shots go across. He finds nothing. Crow with a nice lurk, however, does find Zest. Flash sends it out. Not going to catch anybody, though. And to back away from the 0 point there from Stax, not necessarily giving away his position.
Kind of like the way that Foxy played that. You know, he tried to go for that angle, and then that forced a lot of utility out of Crow there to make sure that he was able to escape safely. Smokes are setting up for a B push potentially, but maybe a fake.
30 seconds left.
It's a check, actually, I believe, into spawn. Zero, trying to see if there's anybody wrapping around from behind. Instead, they will start encroaching on this A site once more. Door broken down. Foxy there finds the quick peek. Suddenly, he's in for a chance at an ace in his debut VCT game. The final shot not going to connect, but there's only 10 seconds remaining. He draws out with the classic. The first right click going across. 36 HP on Sugar Zero. He'll jump the corner, get the headshot. And Foxy 9 will find an ace in his debut on a VCT stage.
How about that? There you go, young man. Coming out big, coming out strong. You'll love to see it. The opener for Foxy 9, little slow to start, but everything you wanted to see here at the end from him. Unbelievable performance. The way he was starting to heat up with that op, those flicks were fast, they were furious, they were confident.
And he was able to climb the standings, certainly with that one, finding himself now as the top fragger of the lobby at the very end. For the side of ZETA, obviously not the result that you're looking for. I think that we could all kind of assess coming into this, okay, DRX picking Ascent, they're going to look very strong on this map. This has been absolute bread and butter for them. It is a great start, but only being able to get 5 at the end of it all, a single round picked up on their attack half. It's definitely not what you want to see, but what we now need to see from ZETA is improvement, is course correction, and cleaning things up from that Pearl that we saw them show versus Leviathan. They need to have a strong performance here and take this to a third map if they want to hope of winning this out. And even if they can do that, it's still Haven, and that's still
not where you want to play DRX.
Yeah, it's still obviously a rough position to be in, but either way, I'll take a closer map in the second one to just let me know that ZETA has been working on things, that they have been improving since that peak at Reykjavik.
I think
we don't want that. We want them to get back
Yes.
to that point, is what I should say.
I think certainly Pearl should be a much closer affair. I mean, they pushed, Leviathan to the limit there. 11-13, didn't quite get the OT, but it was close.
Yeah.
They played really well. Here on Ascent, the expected result, of course, we would have liked to have seen ZETA continue that hot streak they started with. But one thing that's concerning for me here is 10 and Laz come out the gate. I think 11 kills in round 4 or 5 between the two of them.
11 and 1 at one point.
And now, and they end up the whole match, the two of them, 15 kills each. So 4 kills the rest of the way after they were both at 11 kills.
Yeah, a bit rough there. I mean, a really hot start, really fiery. But clearly, DRX just working to get the gears turning here in this opening map. And now they're firing on all cylinders, and that's a really scary spot to be in if you are ZETA. So I'm hoping that with a bit more of a comfortable pick coming through from them in that Pearl, that they'll be able to get it done. Because we have seen DRX as well go to Pearl, look strong, but also get completely shot out of the water.
Yes.
So there's definitely weaknesses that can be exploited. The big question is, lineup.
I need to see some adaptations here from DRX. They were way too predictable, in my opinion, on Pearl as lock-in went on. I could tell you what they were going to do almost every round. I'm like, well, they're going to go B. They're going to put, 2 in elbow, 2 kind of in B main by the pillar, and then kind of a roamer in the middle. And that's basically their entire, static defense. They couldn't hit A site very well at all. They've got to find some new ways to bust through the A site, get some things done. If it wasn't from heroics from, RB and other players on that A site to really break things open over there, they became extremely, especially on their attacker side, which is where they're going to start, predictable on that map.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how they fare on that one. But ZETA, we're hoping that they can rally back,
Yes.
get this win on Pearl, and take it all the way to 3. I mean, what a great way it would be to start things off for our first opening day here in VCT Pacific. But guys, we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we come back, the desk will be breaking down the action from map number 1, so don't go anywhere.
always find kind of fun, right? You get two regions that are you know, have been head-to-head so many times, and they're literally all picking the same agent.
And their calls did seem crisper, right? They started to lose their duels and whatnot, right? The operator actually ended up kind of being a bane in their side, but their calls were still quicker. At lock-in, you could see the delay in movement of how they wanted to go through a round. But Laz IGLing now once again for this team, it seems to be working. Trying to play these other Sentinels over at lock-in, right? After everyone's going to have to keep their eyes peeled because we're going to see so many walls go up from Viper and Harbor on both sides. But Laz playing that Sky, so he is going to play not only Intel, but also the only flash for that team. And that's the big difference, right? We've got double initiator on the side of DRX, actually not going with any Sentinels.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see the Viper-Harbor combo coming into this here. Other overlaps are going to be Jet here, but that's not a shocker either here for Depp or Foxy9.
Yeah, and again, the big difference is DRX's, I guess, understanding is, okay, well, we have Viper still. She can be a semi-sentinel. We can still lock down sites. Harbor can push out the other side on defense. Whereas ZETA is preferring to have that reliable Killjoy intel and utility to buy time on defense and also make sure they're able to watch out for lurks when they're on the attack. And I'll just say this, based on comp and role and pretty much what he's been doing for the team, Laz is the key here, right? If Laz can put up numbers, if he can really push out and get that intel for his team and make the right calls, we could be going to a map 3.
And with that, I think our Agent Select is done. We're going to throw it over to the casters. Take it away, Paper Thin and Achilleos.
Thank you very much, guys. And yeah, we'll see if this is going to, in fact, be able to go the distance. Obviously, some pretty heavy differentiation as far as the comps are concerned. Single flash around on the other side, but not going for that Sentinel, as William was just mentioning there on the desk, going for the fade instead of the Killjoy.
It is really interesting from both of these teams, right? Playing very different comps than what we saw at lock-in. Now, I'm not super surprised that people are leaning into the Harbor Viper combo. This kind of reminds me, you can kind of play it similar to how you're going to play Icebox. You know, the B long side has a little bit of kind of that same flow, that same idea, you know, where you want to cut off multiple angles using both of those big smoke screens that those two agents have. So I think it's really fascinating. The KO is pretty interesting to me here from Stacks. It seems like he's really gung-ho on this agent once again. We've seen him kind of flirt around with a few different agents, but we know he's a very solid KO overall. But yeah, no, you know, no Sentinel on the side of DRX doesn't surprise me too much, if I'm being honest. Like, I think they can get away with it, especially with the fact that, you know, Buzz isn't here today.
Sure.
It makes a little bit more sense to me.
Well, this is now, you know, fourth time that we're seeing DRX play this map of Pearl, the third different comp that they're showing us. We did see the Viper-Harbor combo from them when they were playing against Loud, but that was with a Killjoy as well as a Sky instead of the KO, instead of the Fade. So it's yet another adjustment. I'm curious to see how this is going to go for the side of ZETA, who continue to not, you know, fully go for the double controller. The Harbor can kind of fit into that role, but it's not the Astra that they have shown us in the past. They played that versus Gen G as well as versus Boom at the Guangzhou event, as well as the Champions last year. You see them trying to take some forward position, though, in mid. Everybody getting themselves moved up. It seems like DRX fairly wary of this, and crucially, they're not going to be able to get that shot across. Realize that we have Zest on the player cam. It's all right. We'll get that adjusted.
Yeah, so quick rotations coming here for ZETA. They're reading this just fine. They know what DRX is doing, what they're thinking. The defenses are in place here, 4-10. He had some good defensive moments on Ascent. Let's see if he can continue.
Find themselves forward here into the side. Already Foxy 9 going to be picking up a kill. They get that haunt reveal onto one, but Depp pushing out, gets the headshot across. Foxy 9 gets taken out. Push in. Spike now going to be stranded down on the floor. Just barely missed out on the opportunity to get that plant. Dog comes playing forward, draws attention. And significant damage now out onto Zest. Mako trying to find one, manages to get one across him. Zest, as the last man standing, will narrowly be able to close out the round. DRX winning now their second pistol in the series.
It just took a little bit too long to get that kill in front of Zest for ZETA. Had they been able to find that a little bit faster, I think they're able to get this round. I saw a lot of the things I wanted to see out of ZETA here. They're playing off of each other. They're playing for trades. You know, one person comes in, another, if one person goes down, another one comes in. So overall, really liked what I saw, but Zest here just a little bit too clean. And ZETA just not clean enough in that crucial end of the round moment. They had a good setup. They were ready for it. They played that round fairly well, but it's the firepower there for DRX that's going to carry them through. Now it looks like an A hit here for DRX. The knife, 0 point. It allows them the space to get the orb, but they aren't making any aggressive moves. I was kind of curious to see if DRX was just going to put the pedal down here, just make a go for a fast play, but I think, you know, with what they saw in the previous round, with how aggressive ZETA pushed out early, especially with them being on the eco again, you know, we see this a couple times with ZETA today and also previously at lock-in, that when they're on those ecos, they're not afraid to start pushing space.
Just looking to go ahead, grab the orb here for RB. I mean, speaking of RB, one of the biggest praises that has, you know, been surrounding him as of late has been his flexibility and how much, you know, the roles that he's able to shift into. We've now seen him play so many different agents. This is his 12th, I believe, agent that he has played
this year,
uniquely of all time.
Of all time.
And it's
I was just saying, like, this year he's played at least.
It feels like it's been
7. Like,
it feels like it's been 12 this year. But yeah, it's just amazing to see him go from, you know, this inconsistent player. What is his future looking like for the squad to now being one of the most consistent and valuable players on the side of DRX. So we'll see how this fares, obviously, as we go deeper into this matchup with his Harbor for the first time. For now, fairly clean and easy plant down from the side of DRX. As Foxy 9's not sure which way to look. The flash doesn't come in, and he's going to manage to find his second. Can he get the third? No, he cannot. Last guns him down, but Sax will swing on the corner through the back hall. Close it out for, again, a fairly clean 2-0 beginning. They'll take the anti-eco. Foxy 9 the only casualty, but the Bulldog is recovered.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is everything you want to see here from DRX. Very quintessential hits. Take their time, get everything set up, start pushing this angle deep here in the backside. You know, they look for those picks coming out of heaven, coming out of that doorway underneath heaven from hell. And this is, you know, Buzz usually is the guy we're seeing in this position, right? But now Foxy able to fill in just as well for this team. But yes, I looked it up. It is the 7th agent that RB has played. So.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. And you can see a little bit of what seems like miscommunication there in that last highlight as Depp is getting ready to push his way in the back hole. That's why you see initially that Hawk, that flash is going to go deep, and then they say, no, I'm going to push this, swings it back to try to flash behind so that he can get in front of it. Unfortunately, they just don't read that Foxy is going to be in that forward position.
It's the danger of that flash.
Mako's reading this beautifully, but still does get struck down. Nice response there. Depp obviously going to get healed back up very swiftly there from Laz.
I will say one kind of point of, you know, bright spot here for ZETA, if you want to take away some good things. Depp was 4-2 on first kills versus first deaths, so, you know, for what that is as one-sided as that map ended up being, not bad at all. And Depp, in fact, another thing I want to point out here, he has been pretty good with the early trades, with his first kills versus first deaths, and even Duelist v. Duelist at lock-in, he won his duels with Taco Leah, 6 and 5. So, you know, for what it is, Depp plays pretty well at point.
He does. Well, 10 just spraying through. Harbor wall beat damned, finds Foxy 9. Bringing it now to a 5v3. Spike will still be planted. They concede the site, just looking to play for the retake. They're playing right up here alongside, you know, pushing Secret. It's a very aggressive position to take here. Certainly one that could be surprising. Assessed. What was that shot? The follow-up by the Depp, absolutely gorgeous, but now Stacks, last man standing. See if the IGL can get it done. Double push coming through, the spraying, so close to connecting onto him, and as Crow swings around the wall, they will find him. The defuse can come through. 3 rifles going to be held on to here as ZETA get themselves on the board nice and early.
Yeah, I mean, Zest playing really well. Anti-flash there. Comes around the corner at the perfect moment to sweep up 2 kills. At least do some economic damage here to ZETA, and then Sugar Zero pops right in and comes up with 2 big kills of his own. But yeah, I mean, Depp here really clean out the rip. Just a very swift kill onto Mako. Z10 just spraying it down there as KJ just finds it with that last little spray. Oh, he turns the flash. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is crazy good. I thought maybe he was playing a little bit further back and just was able to play off the flash. No, he just turned it.
No, Zest just a quick adjustment to catch him right on the back end of the tailwind. Gorgeous rifling, but not enough to get them the round victory. So to put 1 up on the board, but that's the bonus out of the way. Winning here and knocking DRX back economically. Now that would be a major turning point for them to start streaking some round wins in.
I mean, I'd really, really like to see DRX continue to try to find ways to find success on the A site. Because, again, going back to lock-in, that's where I felt like they struggled a little bit more with getting plants down on their attacker side, getting space created there. And they tend to drift into this. Now, particularly with the Harbor Viper comp, now I feel like this is definitely a side that they're going to want to lean into even more. They're going to pop the KO wall, the Reckoning down as well. So the site very much left abandoned by the side of ZETA. No reason to be messing with this. Just let them have it. Invest all this utility, right? They're going to use so much to get through here. The Cove was already put down, so now that my question for ZETA is have you been doing homework? Are you going to be able to clear backside here? Are you going to be able to clear these 2 players out of there and start making your way through to get a successful round in your hands?
And clearing that 0 point. Flash is coming out. Foxy9 again playing forward. Spots 1 and is in a rough spot. Can't find the second, but Stax picks up 3 for himself. And in the blink of an eye, just Crow left standing. And yeah, as he gets revealed, not ready for the haunt placement, will go down. DRX, again, clean. Get the attack here onto the B site. It's only Foxy9 who falls. They will go ahead and deny that momentum build away from ZETA.
Yeah, and you can see that ZETA tries to go for the clear here towards Foxy, but Foxy sets up a one-way that makes things really difficult. And then, you know, even though his spray was a little bit off, Stax just starts going absolutely nuts off of those pings right through the smoke. On there at the end, gonna reveal the player, and Stax is grooving, he's jiving, he's feeling it, having a good time.
what a frame to freeze on as we go for our nice little
new profile picture incoming. Yeah,
like our little transition where the Pacific logo swirls. Reminds me of like an old Batman.
Oh God, the old Adam West Batman. Yeah. And you call me the boomer. I like it. All right.
There's some nice silliness from my childhood.
I know. A lot of us grew up watching that at our grandparents' house in America. All right, so Cove in. Were they able to get that nano close? I don't think so. So
looks like he shorted it.
Yep.
Well, actually, no. Okay, RP does get chunked down.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Okay, so he just decided to stick it. So obviously, not having this guy, can't go ahead and get any heals out. Wall's going to go across. He get a tap onto the spike. That's going to force the fragment out from Stax. Just looking to zone. Mako still holding on to 2 snake bites. Line up at the ready. Stax finds the first. Cove goes up, but the bites are already in. They still can't get themselves over onto the spike. The Cove is instantly broken down. You can see the retreat call has to be made.
It's beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful from DRX. I mean, it's a pretty simple entry. Yep. Not a bad idea here from 10 to...
Oh, have they heard him?
Oh.
I think they may have. Oh, Stax. Try to go, get some punch, get some kills. And the rest of the side of ZETA sacrificing themselves over to the spike. They will get 1 for the trouble as Stax really wanted to get some extra ult charge, I suppose. Looks to run them down. Ends up with a bit of egg on his face. But all the same, the round victory is still found for DRX.
Yeah, and what I want to say here is for DRX is, you know, you don't have to commit a ton of utility on the entry this time. ZETA is already playing back. You know, with the economic situation being not so good, they are going to be able to grab an op. It's only a half armor here for Laz and Depto on the back of that. But that being said, like DRX knows they don't have to invest a lot. They show them a different look on the post plant, right? They're all playing by pillar. Everyone's playing back. It's a deep kind of traditional DRX post plant where they want to just smother you with utility, just kind of drag the round out as much as possible, force you off. And that's exactly what they did. And, you know, ZETA, you know, of course, without the proper guns in hands, maybe it's a little bit of a different story in that situation, but still, I like the changes from DRX. Adaptation is the key for me for them throughout this year. If they're going to really challenge for a Masters or Champions title, they're going to have to find better ways to adapt to adversity, to go through the mid-round, to use information against their opponents. I think one other thing that I think DRX is really good at is getting information. What I don't think they're good at is toying with their opponent.
10 again.
He's good, man.
I mean, through the smokes, he just doesn't care. He just somehow manages to have these bullets magnetized on a Foxy9's head. Now he swings back over to Art, finds Zest for his trouble as well. Mako will be able to pick up one. Spike, in the meantime, has been planted. Right out in the open here for DRX. Post-plant utility already fairly limited. They've got 1 bite, 1 fragment.
Mako's out, looking for the backstab here.
He's trying for it, but Laz, very wary of this, ends up finding it. Cloudburst down. They spray, they get the spike diffuser killed. Diffuser now falling. Spray again, RB, finding it, holds it down, finds Crow. They go pushing in depth. Was that a no-scope? I don't know. I would love to see that back from his POV, but either way, it's so damn close. But DRX just continue to find these wins, whether it's clean or they're scraping by. They now find themselves in a 5-1 advantage.
Oh my God, RB, absolutely nuts there, and then Depp just turns on the jets and goes for it.
Oh, he had to have barrel stuffed him there.
I think he did. I mean, that's something that is a Depp special, where he likes to get up close and personal. I mean, RB here, just phenomenal work off of this. And that, I don't know if you scoped it or not, that he got RB right as he stuck his face out through that cascade. I mean, oh boy, what a round there. RB, though, once again, he's so devastating on that A site. I saw this all the time at Lock-In. He plays that so well.
Now you see this gamble stack here from the side of ZETA, trying to get a sense of what DRX is going to do. They go for that A push, but unfortunately it's going to be a full send here from DRX. They're just now figuring out that the site is completely unoccupied. The spike will come down, and we'll see if ZETA can do some damage here. As for now, it's looking like 3-man approach through shops, maybe even 4. As all 5 of them are going to be working their way into long.
See if you can get a gun and get something going.
Yeah. Start trying to pick them off one by one at range. But defensive protocols are there. Zest is watching. Prowler going out. Mako on the corner finds the first one. Suddenly, if you're ZETA, this becomes so much more unassailable. But now you have to make sure that you get into a spot where you can die to the spike.
Yes.
You don't want to give over extra ult charge. You need to be able to get something done here. Depp will find stacks as he once again tries to go and punish. As, a little bit awkward. Mako draws down a bit faster. They go rushing in, and they will, in fact, be able to get the sacrifice across. All right.
Well,
Catastrophe avoided.
Yeah, it could have gone a lot worse there for ZETA. The old bait and switch for DRX there. With the Prowler, Mako around the corner. He's got the Poison Cloud to put up to make it oh so difficult to get through in towards B long. So nice setup from DRX once again on the B side against these ecos. Haven't faltered much. ZETA here, this has to come through. This is a must-win round.
Yes, and this is leading into my concern, which is so far we have not seen a timeout. DRX have been, they pick up the first 2 rounds, they drop the bonus, okay, whatever. But they have been now on a 4-round winning streak. Depp taking a shot. Here comes the Reckoning once again. Foxy going for the deep entry, gets himself tucked away back in the hall. And again, ZETA just have to completely and utterly concede the site. Reckoning is still committed here by Crow, but they need to get themselves into the site to make this work. The spike has already been planted. They get a bit of damage down on RB, but he's still going to swing out wide, find Sugar Zero, and there's no one there to counter trade.
Oh, RB again. He's so good right now.
He can do no wrong. RB can do no wrong. To take that one, I suppose, out of Pansy's lexicon. It will eventually get picked off after the initial damage, but now you have that Nightfall coming across, clips onto 2, so you get the decay out. And again, the call's going to have to be made because Depp is working with an operator. He needs to hold on to this. They do not have the economy to buy another one, so they will just back away, go for this 3-man save. Mako now on the hunt.
Oh, if he gets that op.
Had he made the decision to actually push the connector over towards water, would have been able to find him. Angle still being held. Oh boy.
Still, though, here, I mean, The scary part about this round for DRX is, yeah, they use the Reckoning on the entry, but they're still sitting in the Nightfall in the back pocket. They're able to play really deep. Mako is super deep in the mid this whole time, watching for those lurks that ZETA has been attempting at times to come through towards the B main side. Didn't even come through this time for ZETA. ZETA can't get there. You know, everything here looking really good for DRX. I'm liking the different looks that I'm seeing, these different post plants, these different ideas, the amount of utility they even use on these executes. Sometimes it's just a wall. Sometimes it's, you know, everything in the kitchen sink. It kind of depends on what they feel like ZETA's going to do, and it's making it really tough for ZETA to adapt. Like, they want to play close that time, right? They're trying to push a little bit further in. Instead, the utility investment is much higher from DRX, so they have to back off when they necessarily, I don't think, wanted to do that. I think they wanted to get a little bit aggressive, try to cut off DRX before they're really able to get those executes into place. But this time around, it wasn't to be for ZETA.
Yeah. This is not where you want to be. This timeout needs to instill a change in the way that ZETA is approaching this defending side at the moment. It's like you mentioned, I mean, putting up a fight, looking strong overall over at Lock-In on this map. It seems like DRX, after kind of getting obliterated twice by both Cloud9 and then Loud, seems like there's been some course correcting.
Yeah, they went back to the drawing board, right?
Yeah.
And I think they went with something that was working for them on a map that they don't normally feel comfortable on, which is Icebox, right? It is a very similar composition. And so they're able to adapt it here onto this map as well and do the things that DRX likes to do, which is smother you with utility, cut off your vision, cut off your information, set up for the, those great Phantom players that they have. DRX actually wants to fight you pretty up close and personal. They don't usually want to fight you at long range, other than maybe if, Foxy or Buzz has an op. So this is a team that loves to use utility like this. I think the double controller right now really suits their meta and their play style and their players. So for DRX, these changes are phenomenal, and it's tough for ZETA, man. You don't have a lot of information on this comp.
Yeah, and look how much space because of that they have to concede. They get the Prowler out from not Prowler, but they get the dog out there from Flowers, manage to spot one over towards Art, but they're playing so far back. And I don't mind this as long as the retake executions can be clean, but so far that has not been the case.
Yeah.
Stacks will find one, spraying across, catches him there, so nice pickoff from Laz. Spike now being planted default position, and as Laz sprays out, Mako just answers back, and now the pit is going to be invested. And how do you attack into this?
You do have the lockdown here to invest. I don't really know if there's going to be a counter available, so DRX might just have to back off. They're waiting for the last moment here, trying to buy some time.
It pushes them out of the site, but it doesn't push them out of this pit, and 10 narrowly gets away. Another bite now dropped in. Foxy9 starts creeping forward. Push up onto the corner. Tep reading that flank was going to be coming through, but he just can't clear it out. Sugar Zero will find Foxy9, but the cleanup just comes in as death rains down upon ZETA. And unfortunately, it is yet another buy round after a timeout that has not led to a victory. And DRX continue the onslaught now 8-1 with still 3 more rounds to be played out in this half.
And this is to go to the point I was making during the technical timeout about how the rifle rounds, either the semi-buys or the full buys for ZETA were extremely concerning against Leviathan. They were really low percentage win rates, less than 40% on those rounds. And that's, you're seeing the same kind of thing come through here, even worse in this case. They're just really, really struggling. So Haunt out early. Check Sugar Zero's position. They're going to use the Cascade to try to push it. Sugar Zero can't get the kill.
Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing to back up that swing. No Hawk, no Flash coming out from Laz as he goes in for that. You can hear the footsteps. He just tries to play it aggressively and win out the fight. The best he can do is just chunk our beat down to 29.
And as the Viper, it's your job to be like the desk was saying, a pseudo sentinel. And in this case, Sugar Zero just can't cut the mustard, and I think he just didn't expect to maybe see that much firepower bearing down on him. But with a Cascade, you have to be really, really careful. A lot of teams will push very heavily behind that. They'll send their forces in with it to try to take that space. And I like the readjustment here from DRX. Let's see what ZETA has to say about it. But this angle is so good.
They have nothing to say. Dead man tell no tales, paper thin. They just get gunned down one after the other. A flawless round here for DRX. As they now bring it 9-1. And again, some of these gambles when they're on the ecos are just they're just incorrect. I mean, what other way to put it?
Yeah.
You had some firepower there from Sugar Zero, who I believe had that Bulldog as he goes for the swing, but he can't trade a kill. You can't find an extra weapon for somebody to come and recover. They also don't recover it. They just try to get themselves over to the B site, and just by that point, DRX are so thoroughly entrenched that it just becomes completely unassailable. You cannot retake after that point. Not with the way that things have been going. You can see the pit now going to be invested over towards A. As Sugar Zero says, please don't come here.
This time, surely. I can already see the spike drifting in his direction. I mean, some utility exchanged in towards mid. But ZETA playing very, very far back there towards B-Link. So, you know, now they're going to have to use that Trailblazer to go and check that angle. They're not going to get any information. Let's see how ready for this 10 is.
He's decently prepared. The cascade up to try to block off the turret. Push out, he will be able to get one. So it will be noted by the rest of the team. Have to try to play around it, and obviously they could surmise where Sugar Zero is going to be. Even if he decides to push out of that pit, there is that wall waiting for him that he would have to push through. So for now, he's going to be locked off until that can drop down and until they can get the rest of the team in position to try to get this retake. They've got the man advantage. They cannot afford to squander this. But Mako, on this lurk, he finds 10. And now he's going to come back and maybe even go through water. Yeah, he's going for the spawn.
He's going through secret. Oh, no. Oh, I thought he's thinking about it. Depp might just be caught unaware again.
Well, now should be the best moment to try to go for this one. Crow going to be taken down. Depp hears it. He swings back, but Mako gets the headshot, and Foxy finds 3. 10-1. Now locked in, and with the money completely in shambles for the side of ZETA, this is almost assuredly an 11-1 half. What a way for DRX to kick off Pacific.
I mean, they look great, and even swapping in Foxy, it doesn't look like they missed too many beats, a few stumbles early in this match. Since then, it has been all DRX all the time, and Foxy in particular got that multi-kill to kind of change things up for himself and the team. And now he's just cruising. Now he's just knocking them down like dominoes.
Knives out.
I want pizza.
I believe from both sides. I'm always in the mood.
I know.
Much to my stomach's chagrin. A blade beat blade. Quick peek. Depp finds him. That was a right click, but no, just gets him in the head. So holds on to that extra bit of firepower, and that's exactly the kind of start in the round that ZETA needed.
I mean, again, Depp is often good for these first kills, for these trades early. It's just later in the rounds, he doesn't seem to have that same presence when things, you know, when they're playing for retake, when he's deeper in kind of the formation, maybe, because he's got the op or something like that. It seems like they can't find any success in front of him, and then he tries to do too much. We've seen it too many times where he's getting up close and personal with those ops. Sometimes he's the first one trying to push angles with those ops.
Okay, and there's the reckoning out as Sax can just go ahead and push in 10, just completely sequestered out into the corner. Spike planted within the cove. You can see the creep up. Sugar Zero trying to get in there, but Zest is covering for it. And this is the thing. They're constantly playing together, and that's what we have not been seeing from ZETA for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like once ZETA kind of, you know, started to struggle, it just snowballed, and now it seems like they're just one by one, just walking in here. Depp might be able to do something with these blades still. Nope. Take it back.
Spotted. The Stacks counter swings back in the hall. Does end up getting taken down. Spot one. The fight comes in. Shot the cross, just trying to get some wallbang damage on the Mako. They will chip away at him just a little bit. RB taking a quick jump. They find the kill. Crow good for one, but Laz now gets himself onto the spike, but they can just go ahead and spray away from main. It's 11-1 in the half. Utter devastation at the hands of DRX.
Yeah, I mean, this is ZETA's pick, and it's going even worse than Ascent. I thought for sure this would be a much closer affair on this map, but right now, no one on ZETA is really finding much success. I mean, there isn't many bright spots, a few decent moments from Depth 10, but it's like they're sprinkled in amongst an avalanche of DRX. I mean, they're just snowflakes in this avalanche of good plays, but DRX overall is just too strong, too much of a force to be reckoned with here.
It's just brutal, and I think you can widely tell how seriously DRX have decided to prep for this. They were already satisfied with a top 4 finish over at Lock-In. But they're not going to be satisfied until their ticket to Tokyo is punched, until they have that first place position here.
They're not going to be satisfied until they win
this
year. Until they win one of the internationals.
unfortunately, ZETA just all of the wind out of the sails. And it would be one hell of a miraculous run back for them to be able to get themselves into this. And we can only hope that that is going to be the case. I want to see something more going into this next half rather than just 2 rounds picked up from DRX, bing, bang, boom, done, move on to the next series.
Please.
Give us something here, ZETA. We
I would
want to
love
believe. We know what you're capable of.
Yes. Just think if they string together like 8 or 9 rounds. Like, it'd be so hype. It'd be so exciting. And we'd all be like, okay, ZETA's got it. Yes, they might not win the series, might not win this map. But goodness gracious, we want to see some life out of them. We want to see them come through here, get some confidence for their next match after this. You know, obviously it was talked about a lot here. Desk and us is that obviously this is a difficult opponent to go up against. The best in the Pacific. There's no question about it. DRX is the best in Pacific. Nobody's going to deny that.
Yeah.
Unless you're, you know, a crazy person. So obviously a tough start, but you need to show some signs of life here. You know, for ZETA in particular, it's so important for them to get through here, to get to the playoffs, to get to Masters Tokyo, to fight on their home territory, to show their fans at home what they've got, because there is going to be an insane amount of fans rooting for them if they can make it to Masters Tokyo. I mean, it'll be absolutely insane. I was there at Yokohama, and it was just a show match, a one-day show match, and the fans were nuts.
And they weren't allowed to scream and
They
yell.
were not. It was just boomsticks. And let me tell you, they were clapping hard.
We call them thundersticks.
Oh, is that what it is?
Boomstick is what Ash uses in Evil Dead.
Ah, see, this is why I like you. You have Evil Dead references. That makes me happy.
Well.
Army of Darkness in this case, but yes.
Well, going in now, second half, ZETA need to find themselves a second pistol round win in this set. Otherwise, they're going to be repeating the record that they set versus Lev over at Lock-In.
Knife to check here, but ZETA only reveals 1. They just show 10 to try to bait DRX into not rotating to this, and it works. This is a pretty good little setup here from ZETA.
Yep, as the wall comes up, Stack's going to start doubling back. Actually, I think he's wrapping around, yeah, getting himself up now into heaven. Cove comes in. Flank goes down, fragment. Zones him away, delays for a little bit longer. Bro just chipped away, but the heal is there, crucially. Laz picking that up. Certainly, though, no flashes left available.
Great presence here from 10 not to repeat that.
Got the Prowler to check close, and they will. Depp, nice headshot. Takes down Foxy 9. Jet Duel 1. A little bit of damage out, but Zest as well getting tagged up. They finally break the turret. Still getting themselves out into main is going to prove to be difficult. They start moving their way forward. Zest swings the corner, finds 10. In the meantime, Sugar Zero finds Stacks, guns him down, pull off on the defuse, and RP going to be taken out. Zest with 3 HP, Mako at 93. They're looking for the covering fire, but Sugar Zero will find 4, and ZETA will find themselves a second pistol round victory.
So much of this round here is 10 and Depp buying time on the B main side, just playing that so nicely. It's such a great little setup there. 10 able to use his utility, you know, spots the first. I think he might only see 1. I don't know if he sees 2 there, and he doesn't go for the repeat. Crucially, backs off, you know, maybe feels that DRX is going to try to overstack this side. He is correct. The haunt comes through, and it's Depp who's able to cover it. So really well played here. Yes, Zest eventually breaks it down, but not before taking a ton of damage. That's when DRX pushes the button to go, and they start piling into the site. Yes, they get some favorable trades in there, but because it took so long, because ZETA was able to buy enough time, with some phenomenal play there on the backside, they're able to find that crucial pistol round.
Got backing away for a moment there, but Stacks actually, I thought he was going to try to swing back, break that line of sight, but instead continues to advance and ends up getting punished for it. So a good early kill here from the side of Depp, as it seems like it's just going to end up being a full send over towards B. Wraparounds coming through here, as RB will clear the bot out of shops. See, still wary that there could be somebody on this B site. Protocol's looking decent right now on the approach here from the side of ZETA. They can't afford to make any assumptions. Now that they feel safe and secure about it, go ahead and get this plant down.
Pings are coming down. It's Depp and 10 once again. Watching B main. No turret this time, but 2 better guns in their hands. And I think they've got a pretty good opportunity to convert. Let's see what DRX wants to dial up potentially to try to get, you know, in here, maybe get a kill or 2, and then try to, you know, if not, okay, they don't like this. Something's wrong, and of course, You either want to die to the spike if you can, or, you know, winning the round would be ideal, but at this point, DRX looking for a way to, you know, give as little over to Zeta as they can.
Oh, I don't know if that's going to work out for them as they go ahead and push up. Zest will be able to find one. Mako gets another. That does do damage. Well, that's going to be one of the weapons lost now. A Bulldog left on the ground as well as a Spectre. But Zeta crucially hold on to the Vandals, hold on to one of those Bulldogs, and that's a good amount of firepower. I like that buy overall because they have such a severe run back that they need to accomplish to keep themselves in this map.
Yeah.
Having that extra firepower as you go into the bonus, as you know DRX are going to have rifles across the board, can be pivotal. But economically, it's still not great.
Yeah, no, I think you make a great point. I mean, you got to take risks. You got to start cutting corners here as Zeta to get further into this match, to try to make a map of it, try to make a match of it.
Here.
But, you know, it pays off pretty decently. I would call that not bad for Zeta, not bad for DRX. Like, nobody's walking away from that round feeling super great, super terrible. Mako a little bit under pressure, but just backs off after the utility flies in. Looks like DRX here ready for something. Something got spotted.
Oh, and RB going to be good for one. In the meantime, trying to look forward. Sugar Zero comes up with 3. With a swing around, finding them both at top mid. What a play from him, and this is something that was lacking over in Sao Paulo. We did not see that clutch factor in Sugar Zero that we're so used to seeing, and oh man, he is now on for an ace. He's going to start cutting over towards water, should hear the footsteps, and he wants that gun out of Stax' hands.
You can see the pings coming through. They know which way Stax is going. They're running parallel to him, and now Sugar Zero might have an opportunity for this ace.
This is a gorgeous round so far from him. Does he get the idea that he's going to be tucked away in dugout?
No.
He's just swinging out, and yeah, doesn't scout for it. Surely Stax doesn't try to knife him. Not here in day one. Not in front of this crowd. No, he will not. But Stax will also not hold on to that gun. 10 crucially gets himself in position, shuts him down. So while they may not find the ace, they find absolutely every single weapon and rip them from DRX's hands. Bonus is converted.
What a round here from Sugar Zero. So he's on point. His partner goes down, and he backs off and starts picking off these long flankers from the side of DRX. Just great heady play here from Sugar Zero. This is the play that, for me, has been missing for a little while from Sugar Zero. Oh, Stax. Never change. Just never change.
Tell
So
Stax
funny.
having a bit too much fun, it seems.
He's been dancing today. I mean, we've seen a lot of positivity out of Stax. Which is not unusual, but
Sure.
sometimes he's kind of stressing out a little bit when he's playing matches, so it's good to see him enjoying himself. They're going to really take their time here, and DRX is starting to ping in towards mid from Art, thinking about maybe,
Here.
you know, if they're going to try to maybe double swing that, use the Haunt, kind of a pseudo flash and dash here, maybe to set up Foxy. I'm kind of curious what they're thinking. You do have Crow watching that angle, but yeah, like you were talking about, Sugar Zero, that player that when they were making their Reykjavik run as well, another player you should be talking about because he was so consistent as a controller. Since then, frankly, it's not been quite as good for Sugar Zero. So encouraging to see these kind of plays. But yeah, a lot of the successful rounds that Zeta was able to string together against Leviathan were like on the backs of multi-kills by Crow, Laz, 10.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Sugar Zero.
I mean, also worth mentioning, he was IGLing at that event. Now
Right.
that weight has been taken off his shoulders with Laz
30 seconds left.
taking the mantle. And so far, it's working a treat. Stax left alone here on the site, ends up falling down. Foxy9, the first one to arrive to try to turn the tides of the battle. He'll get cut down as well. Being headshot across with the Sheriff. So many more than that if they want to steal this round away. Take this to match point. Mako gets the tag across, cannot get the finish. And that'll be the cleanup coming through. Zeta losing out on one player. Widely hold on to their weaponry, and already the economy is so thoroughly built up for them.
Yeah, this is great. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Multiple rounds strung together here for Zeta, and now they have the cash built up that pretty much this is either, you know, going the distance or they're going to go home. So I really like this moment here, by the way, on the backside from Laz onto Foxy9. That's the only way that really this round probably could have gone real wrong outside of some miracle Sheriff shots on the site. Laz was way out in attacker spawn there. Foxy tried to flank through mid, got picked off by Laz, so that really secured things. So overall here, a really good round from Zeta. Waited that one out to see if DRX was going to get frisky, was going to push out, try to, get some kind of odd man push out like we've seen on those eco rounds from Zeta and on Ascent and others. So yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need from Zeta. Clean rounds like that need to continue, especially when DRX is on ecos.
And so far, things continue to look excellent on this attack. I mean, look at the ults that they have. Should they be able to get onto the site once again? The Reckoning is there. The Pit as well for Sugar Zero. Tools available for the side of the DRX, so try to stave that off, but so far has not been going their way. 4 rounds dropped consecutively as far as Zeta, who've been just excelling on the attack.
Got that Nightfall for the Pit, so you do have some options here. DRX kind of deal with that.
Interesting Reckoning. Kind of cutting out across into Art. Mako going to be able to find one before getting taken down. Stax continues to push and will find Laz. Now the Nightfall cuts across as well. Stax hiding up behind the box, sends out the pop flash, does catch Sugar Zero in the face, and he's going to have to back away. Pit now going to be invested. Needs to go flying, the spike gets planted. Depth knocked down to about half HP. They just look to spray through. Knife nearly available. Stax now can send that out, cut off any extra utility. See, when does he decide to try to go for this push? The bite blocks him off. Foxy9 up close, catches Sugar Zero. The Pit now dropped. Zest not quite registering the depth is up close, but Stax comes swooping in and finds himself now in a 1v1 versus Crow. I don't think he saw him. The time dwindling, taps on the spike, reads that he's coming for the flank, and Crow runs out of bullets. Stax will close out with a 3rd kill in the round and take DRX to match point.
I mean, Crow had an opportunity there to continue this run for Zeta. Stax was just a bit off on his aim initially, and he just couldn't get it down in time. It was so close. Sugar Zero there, as well as he's been playing here in the second half, steps out of his smoke at the wrong moment, right into the open op of Foxy9 and gets taken down. So a good entry here under some pressure from DRX. Zeta able to stabilize, get the plant down, get their ults down. Had a really good win condition set, but Stax here just so ready for it. And the initial spray off, but had enough time to get it done because Crow couldn't get it under control fast enough.
I think Zach's used a Zed spray as well at the end. Trying to put the Z on the ground for Zeta. Is that a little extra BM?
That would not surprise me if Stax was doing that at all.
Oh, Depth though. Winning out in the up battle. Takes out Foxy9 before he can try to dash away. See the rotations coming through as the haunt gets cleared out. Zest just looking to get tucked behind the screen. Seems like Zeta registering that this has likely been reinforced.
Yeah, this is good recognition of the amount of utility that's been used. They know that there's at least two or three there for sure. So it's time to back off, or at least wait it out. Let's see what they want to do exactly. Laz is coming through, checking into A. Is going to get confirmation that someone's there with the utility. But yeah, I mean, just that wide swing from Depp. Foxy just was not ready at all for a player to be that far out there. Had to try to flick for the kill. Meanwhile, Depp looked like he was pretty zeroed in on the location of Foxy there. So big opening kill once again for Depp.
Yep.
On the side of Zeta.
This now has to be a 2-2 split. You can see Stax starting to rotate back as the word does come through. Zest lining up one, takes quite a bit of damage, but manages to escape from out behind. But what a shot! Depp sniped out of the sky. 10 of the flank comes in, does manage to find Zest, but Stax cleans up 2. And now it is just Laz left standing, and the IGL, unfortunately, cannot make it happen. Stax will gun him down as DRX claim the opening series of VCT Pacific over Zeta Division.
An expected result here. I think we would have all liked to have seen Zeta put up a more of a fight. We would have loved to have seen a third map. Was not meant to be. Zeta just not quite as crisp and clean as they needed to be. Just too many rounds in a row there dropped, on multiple maps. Long streaks of wins able to be put together by DRX. And what a showing here for Foxy9. His first time at an official VCT match, and it was spectacular.
It was. I mean, less impact found here in the second map. Goes 13-13, 0 assists, whatnot. Doesn't really matter. Stax clearly looking much more at home here on this stage. Finding that impact that we've seen from him across the previous 2